Are we on? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Microphone check. Lights. Cameras.
This is swanky. This is lifestyle. This is culture. Welcome to the social center of everything culture. Culture Daily.
This morning on our big conversation, we'll be talking about something very interesting. I'll tell you shortly, but Betwinner is here with some great news for us with cool odds that would give you a chance to win some real good money for yourself instantly when you sign on to Betwinner and you make a deposit of up to 3,250. Well, guess what? You can receive 200% bonus from Betwinner just on your first deposit. They've got the highest odds. So jump onto Betwinner on their platform. That's betwinner.com.gh, or you can do same by downloading their app. Terms and conditions apply. There's a brand new phone as well out there from Infinix. It's the Note 40 Pro or the Note 40 itself. It's got cool features like a wireless fast charge, camera and screen wide enough with the camera, 108 megapixels OIS rear camera plus sound boost by JBL. And the good part is that you can own one just by paying 19 Ghana cedis every day, or make a 30% down payment and you can win this for yourself. So how about you make it a gift for your friends, family and yourself this season with the Note 40 or Note 40 Pro from Infinix. And guess what? All this comes with 30 gigabytes of data from Telecel for the next 6 months, so you can stay connected and entertained. It's available in any accredited store or shop near you, or go to gh.xpark.com, and this is approved by the man and only Blackcore as well. Hey, Betway's got a brand new game. It's the Fly X with Win Boost. They say you bet, you blast, and boost your way to some victory. Well, guess what? 300% winnings are available for you on Fly X. That means that you can triple your winnings. So don't miss out. Play Fly X with Win Boost exclusively at betway.com.gh. Bet responsibly though. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway, get way more. I'll tell you about live restaurants as well as flying out of the world. I mean out of Ghana or even within Ghana, and enjoying some dreamy vacations courtesy Waka Now, plus what President has for you. Before we do all of that, time check 25 minutes past 9 here on the big conversation. Now, many years ago, about 50 something years ago, Kwame Bediako said something. He said that the black man is capable of managing. In fact, he said independence is meaningless without the total liberation of Africa and other something. You remember, right? Don't know now. I go teach you social studies, so relax. He also said that the black man is capable of managing his own affairs. Fast forward many years down the line, many years down the line. Now to the preamble. So recently, we watched earlier on, for those who probably missed out on the conversation, we watched a video by Nana Kwame Bediako, aka Cheddar, who's also an independent aspirant for the presidential race, December 7th. It's going to be very interesting. Now, he said, as part of the things, his campaign messages in a press conference recently held, he had mentioned that it's also good for us to tap into external support, influx of workers from Europe, China, the US, you name them, expertise to help build this country. Let's watch the video again. When we come back, there's a lot to look at it. There's also unemployment. There's also national service, people finishing, wanting jobs, so many things around it. But we're going to dovetail and bring this into our creative art space. We've had marvelous events in Ghana, beautiful ones, beautiful events in Ghana. A few months back, we had the Global Citizen. Now, it sets the conversation apart on what we should be looking at. You remember? You didn't say Sam? But let's watch Nana Kwame Bediako first. We'll come back.
Come from outside and build our nation for us and make our currency stronger. We are going to make our currency stronger. If we have all of these platforms, which is industrial, we will have a circulating economy. In fact, I intend to import talent. The idea of me telling you that I'm going to take the Chinese and keep them here for working for 4 years hard labor is part of importing talent. But I'm cutting the importation system out because they're already here and they sport my water. After that, I will still bring different types of people in the world, from Europe, from America, from everywhere. They have to come and work for us. The same gold, they can drill, they can do the job for us. We just need to think like investors and business people. And that's why I think Ghana needs this sort of new leadership. Not the leadership who have studied political science, but doesn't know how to build a building or doesn't know how to create business. We need a CEO in this country. Someone that values the resources in this country. Someone that values the humans in this country. Someone that values the citizens in this country. Someone that values their position, that they are responsible and accountable for this country. And those that know the value of money will always understand what life is worth. I am one of those. Thank you.
Okay,
When global Jay here, Jay is about to spark something. When I spark it, then I take knife and you blunt knife and cut my own neck. put it on a tray and serve it to myself. So let me share with my team. Tree another mechanic brought from Pachon Bisamo. You realize one is glasses because we are in for barrel. It's a barrel of the year. So guys, you remember that there was a global citizen when the mics work perfect. But we spoke about it here. I didn't say I didn't go for global citizen. No. I watched it on Twitter. That time was Twitter, and it was a flawless event. They said the mic works, no hitch. In fact, we watched backstage. They said it was. Only you want to give me some of the things that were the performances, right?
They know.
They were spot on.
Those who know.
Sarkodie, I wish you would find that citizen show.
Sarkodie, Stormzy,
no, don't go far. Sarkodie's performance was beautiful. Solid. You remember, right, AC? Were you there?
No, I didn't.
You didn't go. Siri, were you there? So it was importation.
I was there.
It was importation of foreign. It was executed by local talents, right? I'm told there were quite a number of local vendors that were given the job to do. What I do not know, and I beg to be corrected, was it supervised by local talents only, or it was supervised by foreign expertise? Because there was
foreign expertise.
Sorry, I can't hear that. You said
it was supervised by foreign expertise.
This is a courtroom, so you have to speak into the court mic.
It was supervised by.
So does Nana Kwame have a fair point, with accessing foreign talents and expertise? I beg your pardon, to be able to give us a certain, I don't know, to make things more professional, or the black man is on the face, or we can be able to do these things internally, considering the fact that there's a lot of unemployment, there's skill, we have top-notch schools and all of that. So this is a very opinionated conversation, ladies and gentlemen. It does not mean there's a right answer, but we are going to then debate out some of these pointers to look at how, or if locally we should be able to do this, because when other aspirants come, they heavily speak about tapping into the natural resources with local talents to be able to create jobs for people, for us to benefit from what we cook is what we eat. But he's turned the narrative inside out, that we need to think like investors. But let's look at the creative art space for us to be specific. We need to think like investors, think like CEOs, and let foreign talent come and work for us, quote unquote. So I want to start with my team in here to find out what their mindset is. And I repeat the question. I want to find out with my team in here to find out what their mindset is on this narrative.
Can I go?
Yeah.
I just wanted to know if I could go.
But I really, aside from your opinion, I really want to hear from Olele and Cyril this morning.
Okay, then.
So, no. Okay. No. Candy Wahwe. When you chew, the beginning is sweet, the ending, yeah, you chew out for flex. So I want to leave them for flex. Beginning. Yes. Okay. So it's sweeten the conversation for, because I want to go in real hard on this.
I feel like he's coming from a point of trying to make things better, ideally, right? As to whether when he gets there he will do it or not, that's a different conversation. But the mindset, blood cat knife. Anyway, continue. We forget that when it comes to the workforce or people working in Ghana, a lot of things boils down to mindset. Now, if you want to take two people who work in Ghana, one worked for a diasporan and one working for a Ghanaian, the Ghanaian business owner will complain about several things before he gets stuff done. But the diasporan business owner probably have created a system or has a way to keep the workers in check, right? And some people feel like, I'm working for someone who's a foreigner, I don't know them, and so they probably can't relate, and so they'll rather adhere to instructions than have an issue. But it's not the same with a lot of Ghanaian business owners. And when Ghanaian business owners are strict, it seems like they are doing too much and they don't have the right to, even though it's their money and their investment. And so if you want to fix that issue of doing things well, use the example of Global Citizen, right? I will not be surprised if most of the vendors at that particular Global Citizen have also been on shows that have been dragged for bad sound, that have been dragged for poor quality or inadequate something. You get what I'm trying to say? So why is that for Global Citizen, when you got there, you decided to work well, right? But then for someone else's show, you didn't work well. Someone will say because of money, someone will say because of that foreign supervision, like Olele said. But then again, it just comes back down to our mentality, because if maybe he doesn't do it and we bring these people down to come and work for us, people will end up losing their jobs. That's one thing, and it's not going to fix the problem, it's just going to make it worse. Because earlier this morning, Cyril mentioned that the issue with unemployment in Ghana, most of it is not necessarily because there's a lot of qualified people that don't have jobs to do, but it's because there's a lot of work, but there's probably not enough qualified people for those jobs. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And so if you bring in these people, they'll probably just come and take over. And what makes us feel or think that there's not even some of them here already taking jobs from people, aside fighting with AI? Trust me, I feel like this is scary.
Okay, all right. It's here, the precedence. Thank you very much. Cyril, they picked a few words from you. I don't know if it was picked out of context or it was in context.
Please let me know, in context or out of context.
I really want to
hear.
No, actually, that was a real valid point you shared there. But anyway, there are twists to it.
I want to know if Cyril is happy with my statement.
Oh no, he's happy. He has to be happy with it. Tomorrow is his birthday.
Statement. I've not said anything.
No, but like
you see how he talks. A politician. You see how he talks.
I mentioned a few things she said.
The tone. Anyway, all right. Let's hear from you, Cyril. What do you think?
I think he's onto something. I think it's an accurate and it's an intelligent analysis of the Ghanaian landscape with regards to the fact that we've been here all this while trying to jumpstart this car and we've not figured it out. So, the definition of was it idiocy or is it foolery, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results? What's I forgot. So the definition of one of the things, whether to be a fool or something. So for me, it's not necessarily the threat of employment going to foreigners. What I would question about his point would be what select industries would lead this wave, and how do we ensure that knowledge is retained and passed down, because we are not the first to do this. During the wars, the World War I, World War II, the Cold Wars, blah, 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 capturing enemy intelligence was part of the mandate. You'd shoot a soldier, but you'd bring a scientist in alive. And historically, this has impacted many. American scientists have learned a lot from Russian and Chinese and Indian scientists and expertise that were captured and made to share their knowledge and impact their world. Same for the British, same everywhere. So killing of knowledge has never been in anybody's favor, even to the point where at war, they can identify that shoot a soldier, save a scientist. So if we are at a point in Ghana where industrialization or industry is what we need to drive Ghana out of the darkness, quote unquote, then we need the right people. Not people who are now going to learn on the job, not people who are now going to come and postulate and theorize new things, but some of the things are a no-brainer. For example, our energy sector. we've mentioned solar, we've mentioned nuclear, we've mentioned every other thing on this planet. We are still suffering with hydro and gas. But there's places on this planet where they've solved those problems 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 decades ago. We don't need to really be now starting our Lego blocks and also figuring out, plug here, do this, do that. When people have already done it, you bring in the expertise, they solve your problem, and then you hand on the knowledge. Case in point, most of the mining firms, some of even the media firms, like our own media firm, when equipment was installed here, we all went to the training where there was foreign expertise. I was taken through this mixer board and the system and the broadcast systems and how it relays and the potential by an Italian man. But what our owners did was they brought in the expertise to establish, to train, pass on the knowledge, and go. And 2 years going, we've been smashing it. So that plan, in theory, it's an excellent plan.
Okay, but I think, do you think that he meant coming to train and go?
That's
or
not
he
what
meant
he said. He said they should come and work for us.
Coming to
Yes,
work.
no.
I know the work hasn't been
Qualified
true,
or defined.
for.
So when he
defined,
says they should come and work for us, I understand it as, even if, let's say, it's the agri sector, and you go and bring some Israelis who are on the next verge of, aquaculture and agro-tech and all that, and they come and they set up some of the biggest agricultural industries around. It will get to a point where the succession would be, front and center. You would have to train local staff. You would have to make sure you develop local expertise. Same as the global citizen example. So I think he doesn't need to say that. It's just what will happen. Global Citizen did not come with every single manual input required. There were people who were trained on the job. There were people who were briefed. Some of our own vendors were taken. Some of our own friends who are industry vendors were used on those projects, right? So they brought somebody who has
heavily
the idea.
Supervised by
Exactly. So they bring the top people, somebody who has the expertise, the experience, and the attention to quality to get the intended result. Then they look for who is in a place of enough potential. So the people who we considered the top dogs, quote unquote, in our industry got a boss.
Cyril, AC mentioned a very valid point, where we see Lebanese, Chinese businesses, Indian businesses in Ghana thriving. Look at the likes of Melcom, look at the likes of, all these are foreign businesses that have been thriving, heavily supervised and still being supervised. We have seen the ones that have been handed over to locals that have gone south. So it is also a matter of these people taking over. Now, we've reached a point where we've seen the influx of Chinese businesses now taking over. Chinese restaurants across the country offering meals 10 times, maybe somebody might say, better than some other meals, except the fact that local meals you can never take away that from people. Our fufu and our papransa and all those things.
Even that, if they could, chop bars would be out of business.
The experience of eating them is still hasn't reached. There are only few chop bars that offer the best hygienic setups. The rest of them, either you are swapping your hand with one fly and all of that.
We have an attitudinal problem. So I don't think it's a mystery. We just don't like talking about it.
So I'm asking that, are we really ready to have to us at the point of where we are seeking independency? Are we really ready to open out to allow a certain level of foreign for want of a better expression, infestation taking over? For example, your assistant deputy minister of finance in the future, maybe under a government in the future, is half Ghanaian, half American, but of course he's American, but he holds a dual citizenship because of the role. He's now been brought in because, like the IMFs and co, these are all run by foreign agencies.
And we go to them and we use their consultancy.
So based on what he's saying, are we then really ready, or should we entertain such conversations? Or it's also a big risk to the fact that you are given off your topmost positions to a certain race or a certain
in some countries,
national.
Whenever someone is of dual citizenship, there's some mistrust. Is that the word? It's mistrust, right?
Loyalty.
Yes, there's an issue of loyalty, because if anything happens and maybe there's a conversation between maybe Ghana and Nigeria, maybe the person is half Ghanaian, half Nigerian, it's
Or she
now,
might.
Scott, which side
Wait,
would
that's
you
your
like
last
to
line.
be
let
on?
me-
You know?
Okay, before I come to Lily. All right, sure. Finish it up.
First of all, yes, those loyalty questions can come up. But do you know when those loyalty questions don't come up? When people are working with multinationals. When people, whether Ghanaians, when Ghanaians and Nigerians are working for Maersk or Talo or CAT or Newmont or whatever,
Serial.
that one day they don't.
Boy, you.
Yeah, that one day they work. They show up and they work, and nobody goes to the office and say, "Oh, I be Nigerian man, so waiting they happen. I know I'm a dollar salary." They work. They work. So it's attitude. The problem we have in this country, and our neighbors share the same fault, is attitude. That's why Lebanese businesses, Chinese businesses, Turkish businesses, etc., thrive in Ghana, but Ghanaians try to replicate the same model, and it tanks because we lack discipline and we don't like process. The problem in Ghana is that we've grown a thorough dislike for process. It be long.
Yeah.
It be listing safe, it be long. So the
Yeah.
thing you for do 10 steps, you want to do 3 steps and go do something else.
Okay, Cyril, so we're going to show you the video, just do a throwback to when SAC performed at the Global Citizen. And I remember heavily how this was a much talked about, the concept was a much talked about and used as a reference. It's as if for a minute we had forgotten about all the other events that have happened in Ghana, and we used that as a reference to as a benchmark for how we should be doing our things. You see the stage, you see how then do you see the gate, you see the this, you see that. We said all of those things. Let me just throw you back to this performance, out to the other performance that happened, before I ask Olele my next question.
Let's go. That's it. No sense. Punchline. Away to that. If I put it down, I give you to my family. Give you to my place. Say my bro. Way back. Can't tell you I need a chiller. But what's the last I got? Nobody knows about me. Be the one for pick up. Get the kid. Got the honey. I'm looking to never go pick up. I'm going to get the little to the get the back of the sister. Celebrate. Champagne. I told you they get to move back. I was in the seven the devil. And you did not see me no back. Get a cross. After the minute when I took it from my feedback. As I go to live and never fall. Before I see me way back. I'm in mind. If I said to put the magic, I've been on the comeback. I've been with love with a pull off. Hey, you see the video contract. So my side, this is the love of it. This is about it. Rapidly, I can finish shot. Yeah. Oh my God. I go by the name S.A.R. Second best, listen, yeah, now, to my class, in the ghetto, to my boys, moving. Okay, man, I'm a man, you're a panache, I'm a couple of you sin. For the love, for the hate, everything is right on thing. Forgive me for my mistakes, I guess it's me. By the way, rest in peace, Goldie. All I do for the love, success leads you. When I'm gone, go back high, at least I had an impact. What's the name you do? I met it in the name and I send them back. When you want about my shop, but still I go back to the class. Got the cannabis to tell us off. This is an African hip hop. I just think I'm to give it off, but I'm the best anyway. The woman tell me I'm a finish, I'm funny beef, I'm just ready to get it in. Just in case, with the rush, what can you say the boom boom shot? With the lie, what can you prevent to release to the Canada? But I can't check my level, maybe I knew, I never repeat. I just have a better man to grow. Challenge, make a flow. I've been nigga ready for the show. I said I move up and let me go. Okay, get out of the money. Okay, let me show you how it goes. I'm the we never show. Listen to my niggas on the block. Papaya.
Olele, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing? You remember how we spoke heavily about this this event?
Yes.
it was a beautiful event. It was almost flawless. I wasn't at the backstage to understand the technical challenges, but it was almost a flawless event. We've seen similar or same happen, or even better happen in Ghana, arguably. So we can't necessarily downplay any event that has happened in this country. Even our very own 3 Music Awards, if you go back and watch it, beautiful performances,
Epic.
Blacko, Epic, Water, and all those things. We do it.
Yeah.
But we still use this as a point of reference. So now narrowing it down to our creative arts space, do we need foreign supervision? Season comprehension question.
Let me establish this precedent so that it would be easy for me to hit my point, right?
Okay.
So, if you followed Nana Kwame Bediako's campaign or his political takeoff, he's really hell-bent on being the second coming of Osajo for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Like, that is his template. His template is
Nkrumah did the same,
yeah, his template is to follow in the steps. Like that is his vision, that is his inspiration, that is the motivation. And at least with the little social studies we learned and history we learned about Nkrumah, we knew Nkrumah was an industrialist. He was a socialist, he was a Pan-Africanist, but most importantly, he was an industrialist, right? And that is what NKB has positioned himself as. Now, if you do a little bit of research, you notice that Nkrumah always proffered a perfect mix of foreign and local, labor force, right? If you look at some of the things that we thank him for, or what's the word I'm looking for? Come on, what's wrong with me today? I've been having brain farts the whole of this morning.
Wow, I actually dreamt about it. No, actually did.
So, some of the things that we thank Nkrumah for, some of the things that we brag about, like our Kosovo Dam and, obviously the non-functioning tire factory and stuff like that. History tells us that, the construction of the Kosovo Dam was actually done by an American company, right? And till date, that dam has served as what it's supposed to serve us. The tire factory was actually done by Czechoslovakian engineers.
A Ghanaian contractor did the road in my area not long ago. They've peeled it again. They are doing it again. But go on.
You see, and so what I noticed with my little study about Nkrumah and how it juxtaposes what NKB is trying to do is the fact that when it comes to the huge projects, when it comes to the major, landmark projects, right? That is when you bring in the foreign labor. That when it comes to the on-ground work under supervision, that is when you bring, because Nkrumah's quote you mentioned or you stated earlier that a black man is capable of managing affairs. Nkrumah was aligning that quote with the education he was providing to the black man. Not to say the black man is incapable, but Nkrumah's drive and vision was the black man would be educated.
Okay.
Now, I've always argued that because Nkrumah did not live long to fulfill that particular quote, we didn't know what strategy he had for the black man after that statement.
Okay.
Because he kept establishing, he kept establishing the infrastructure all right with the help of foreign labor. And when it comes to like mini projects in the villages and stuff like that, he gets the the local labor to carry out those projects, because the assumption is with the little experience that you've learned, you would be able to apply that education, apply that experience into these smaller projects, and then you get to the highest point or the highest level. And when you replicate or you mirror this into a creative aspect, that is where you have a conversation surrounded around the global citizen, because that's exactly what happened. The global citizen brought their people, but when they came with their people, they had to work with local artisans, because the stage we saw, right, was put together.
So, but there were
supervision.
But there were equally skilled.
They were
supervisors here.
They were
equally skilled supervisors.
Yes.
Who can curate such experiences.
Yes.
But after this merger was done,
yes,
we the locals used this event as a yardstick. Yes. And so the question is, so what has happened to us in time memorial of not being able to achieve such, or if we achieve it, it's just one-off.
AC and Cyril said it. It's first of all the lackadaisical attitude of the fact that we think we can do it, and so we approach, the jobs or the work or the projects with some lackluster, attitude. Or sometimes too, it is the ego that plays a role in the finesse. Like when you are too sure that you can get something done and you don't pay attention to the minimal or the minimum details. Now, when you are working with a foreigner, the slightest detail is of serious importance.
So I'm asking all three of you then, are we in favor of such a move?
I personally am in favor because, like AC said, because he has not really expanded on how he wants to go about it, I would want to see like a plan. Maybe, okay, we bring in foreign labor for 5 years, right? As part of bringing a foreign labor, the local labor will benefit from, either new techniques or new technologies or new ways of work, and then we would want to hand over the projects to them. My only issue is that the black man has not been able to prove that he is good at the maintenance administration. Yeah. That is my only problem.
Because I was just going to raise my hand and ask you.
That's my only problem with the black man. Or with the Ghanaian. Let me say Ghanaian because I'm a Ghanaian.
Guys, you know how big this thing that he said is.
And even after,
you finish.
Because you see, in all this beauty and splendor of being nationalist, right, and being empowering, the facts and data are there for us to see. Okay, we don't even need to pull statistics. They are there for us to see. The things that we handed over. Okay, let me give you a typical example.
That we received.
Let me give you a typical example. The National Theatre. Right, it's argued because you are talking about creative arts. I want to just focus. I don't want to go into other.
I love that.
The National Theatre,
guys.
The National Theatre is arguably one of the biggest monuments when it comes to the creative arts. Right, but we've noticed time and time again how deplorable the National Theatre has been over the years. Accra Conference Center. We sat here. We talked about how some of the ACs are not even working. They did not build it all. They did not build it.
Hey guys,
it was built by foreign. It was built by foreign labor. All the black man had to do was to maintain.
I want to fight you guys, but
all the black man had to do was just to provide administration. Efforts.
Is this a hidden truth then?
It is not a hidden truth.
No,
I'm
saying that. No. I'm saying what Cheddar just said.
Yes.
Is it a hidden truth that clearly looks like we need certain foreign hands to continue
until we are able to prove that, and this is like you said, this is very opinionated.
This is my opinion.
Until we are able to prove
to
that
ourselves,
indeed, because even you see, Cyril says something that his road got fixed by a local contractor, and all of us
local.
It was
local. I just don't want to mention the name. On a good day, Cyril would have mentioned it,
and it's already peeling up. You see, even being involved in the construction of a project, right? There are issues with that. You know the funny thing, the motorway that we talk about, right? It was constructed about 60-something years ago. When the motorway developed potholes, what did the black man who has now come into power, right, has been to the best of schools and understands, right, the role of the Ministry of Roads and Highways? We obviously want to believe that section or that sector understands the road better than you and I. But when the road, the concrete motorway road, suffered potholes, what do we put on there? Asphalt.
Sometimes asphalt.
Sometimes.
Yes.
Oh, come on. And this is a road that was established and developed with the help of foreign, labor, to establish a road that has stood the test of time for 60-something years. When the black man had opportunity to run his own affairs, to fix the motorway, even with the templates given, he decided to put asphalt on a concrete road, knowing that will not be a long-lasting solution. So do you see the problem? So if you say you are bringing foreign labor, right, and this is my exception, if you are bringing foreign labor to come and train, empower, that when they leave, I even like every year come and do assessment. Yes, because we haven't been able to show and prove that indeed we were able to run our affairs. The only thing that we can run our affairs properly is food.
Even that
we can eat and show that Ghana jollof is better than Nigerian jollof.
Oh, really?
But we have not been able to manage the infrastructure that have been built. The IMF has given us money to build things. The World Bank has given us money to build things. In fact, we are taking loans from different countries to build things. Yet we have not been able to say we've come back to the same infrastructure and it's still looking the way it's supposed to look like. Look at our hospitals, for example. You go to a national hospital like Kolebu. Kolebu that was built this thing. Yet there are still areas of the building that I mean, you know what I'm saying? So if until we are able to show and prove that indeed we can manage our affairs, I'm all for this one.
Yeah, so
the sense I want to talk self because the examples that have been used are even very difficult for me. Not to say I don't side with what he's saying, but I'm just saying that are we really ready? Is this a moment and a time to
I'm sorry. Let me just quickly add. Do you know that in some countries, right, it's actually part of their immigration laws, right, that even as a foreign company or as a foreign industry provider or whatever, when you come into the country, you must employ local labor because they want to be able to have that expertise transferred to local labor. So if we are going to go through that route or we are going to consider that direction, then that should be explicitly stated in our immigration laws, because there's some countries, no matter who you are, whatever money you are bringing, when you come and set your business or you come and establish your corporation, you must employ a percentage of local labor because the idea of the country is you can't come employ your people because you may say, oh, you're you know, we don't understand your work, blah blah blah. No, we want our people to also develop, right? So when you come and set up your corporation, you must employ so that in case you want to leave, we have that residue of knowledge, expertise, and wisdom that we can also transfer into our industry.
Let me ask
Even
you
that
guys,
one has a plan.
Is the solution, well, a part of the solution to what he proposes as engaging foreign expertise, or part of this, or the solution should be looking internally to drill down the issues that affect our work ethics to resolve it than tapping into foreign expertise?
That's a good question.
I love your question.
Thank you. I just came back from Egypt.
In typical St. Peter's fashion, I saw that coming. So please put the answer to Jeffoli's question on the screen because I answered it before he asked. No, it happens a lot. Don't be bothered. Yes. So this is an article written by Mr. Amos Sefa, a developmental and communications management specialist and a social justice advocate. Of course, this is a think piece based on some academic insights as well. Development discourse with Amos Safo. Sorry, I said Sefa. Amos Safo. Attitude is killing us. Now, he made a nice comparison across various sectors. So Ghanaian employees have a penchant for destroying Ghanaian-owned businesses and public sector interventions. You employ the unemployed youth, and they are the very people who run down the business without realizing that they are killing their own future. Ironically, the Indian workers are Hindus and not Christians, but they are among some of the most honest and competent workers in the world, and that is true. We know the power of Indian workforce. Sadly, 70% of Ghanaians are Christians or church-going, with 17% being Muslims and pray 5 times a day. Next slide. In all, 92% of Ghanaians are piously religious, and all this is backed by data. Unsurprisingly, the huge corruption in our public and private sector are perpetrated by people, both Christians and Muslims. So what is the use of being a Christian or a Muslim or being religious when we continually fail the test of honesty, transparency, and accountability? Unless we change our negative mindset, our economy will remain uncompetitive and unemployment will continue to be the biggest development challenge. Now that has answered Jeffoli's first question. So back to me, please. Toyotome. So the question here is the attitude, the behavior, and the mindset. And as much as shipping in talent to help build our industries and get the car running, there needs to be a lot of social re-engineering, moral redirection.
Yes.
Because words like, you see, one beautiful thing that we fail to see is that you can't deny who you are, because who you are slowly seeps into how you communicate. It belong J they see in body this thing there for try run ammo, it will seep out through your language and your expression. Corruption is now conveniently called running. Hey, Charlie, so the guy Bob, you know how you do until I run him. What you are saying when you say I run him is, hey, I paid somebody I shouldn't be paying to turn a blind eye to the wrong I have done, which I should have faced the consequences for.
Yeah.
If you say it that way, there's guilt that comes with it. But we've whitewashed that guilt and made language convenient to enable and condone our horrible attitudes and character. And that is the last how do I say it? The last litmus test of corruption, where the act itself is horrid and fearful, but we have managed to translate it into a phrase that gets us feeling comfortable with doing said things. You understand? Before you get your job, how many runnings involve? Before you get Legon, how many uncles you call? These are all questions we've made normal. If like you get sense or your child learn, where you go write BEC, or SSE, where like it pass, nobody Legon go call them. If a pick phone call somebody, where you at this school, do you understand how convenient we have made corruption?
I want to ask all this question: that would you work for a local CEO under no conditions? I'm not saying any conditions or environment. Would you prefer to work for a local CEO, or would you prefer to work for a foreign CEO?
Prefer. I don't think, for me,
if we were to move into the era of Nana Kwame, who identifies certain areas, being agriculture, creative arts, be it all the question I want to just wrap it up with in asking is that would you then, that because he's identified that there's a certain gap that which is professionalism that needs to be filled, and then he proposes that your new deputy minister or deputy or maybe as chief executive in a certain creative art space, it's a foreign agency. Yes, agency. It's a foreigner, Mr. Alan Smith.
I'll be very excited.
Would you want?
Yes.
Would you prefer to work with in that space?
So you see, the sad and unfortunate thing about this is, I'm sure people will come at me, but that's okay. That's my opinion.
That's why I stated in the beginning, it's opinionated.
If there was to be someone that's a diasporan from a foreigner, right, heading creative arts, I've seen what they've done with their creative arts, right? Especially if the person has a great backlog and they've done well in elevating or unveiling talent. I would definitely love to work with that. But with the Ghanaian, it would depend. I would want to know exactly what they've been able to do. Are they professionals or not? Because we also forget that it's not only the workers that are unprofessional. Some CEOs, some Ghanaian CEOs are also very unprofessional. Do you get what I'm trying to say? The whole time we've been blaming the workers. Some of the CEOs also make it quite difficult for these people to work. They don't have systems put in place for these people to work, and so they belong. Sometimes they actually really belong. Because there's no actual system to track whatever is going on. And so work that can be done once would have to be done thrice.
Well, we had a very civil conversation this morning. I don't know if you guys anybody wants to top it up, but I want to wrap it up real quickly. Do you
know which country is currently building Africa's new parliament?
Yeah, tell me.
China, right? In case you didn't know, also there's a public sector strike going on now.
I don't know why we are at work today. Or we don't. We are both.
Yeah, private.
We are both.
I love it.
When my check comes at the ending, it's private. Into brackets. Private.
That's what I'm saying.
My brother, do you want to live?
When they're taking your taxes, do they write into brackets private or public?
Yeah.
We are both.
On that note, and we shall see you when the strike is lifted. But anyway, thank you so much on this. It's been the points well shared. I was trying to go online to get your comments as well, but pardon us, our time is up. But I'm reminding you that Live Resto Lounge is a place to be. It's got you covered. Great food on there. They're in East Legon. Call them on 020-133-7766. 020-133-7766. Also, fly out to the world. Enjoy the world. Okay, enjoy the world. Enjoy even in Ghana here. Your amazing summer trips with Waka Now. download the app Wakana Ghana, or just go on the website, and plan all those dreamy vacations for yourself. Or you can go to their travel centers in Accra, Kumasi, and Takoradi as well. Brush your teeth day and night as well with President Charcoal or the herbal toothpaste. Both have it's fine blend of things in there: fluoride, natural charcoal, lemon, mint, zinc. Whilst the herbal one has got a green tea and herbal extracts that will help repair and protect your gums, whilst give you an all-round cooling sensation. If you also want to reach them, you can call get some free dentistry or dentist advice. Yeah, thank you very much. You can call 0800 161 000 0800 161 000. Lancaster also has up to a 50% scholarship for you, a degree program. Hurry now, because they would offer you a vibrant student experience in a community that helps equip you with useful employability. Lancaster has come to solve the problem. Skills that will take you closer to the career of your dreams. It's lancaster.edu.gh or admissions at lancaster.edu.gh. So on that note, our time is up. We are out of here. If you want to play back of this conversation, it will be at 10 p.m. tonight or on our YouTube channel, or you can catch excerpts also on Thread at 1 o'clock and at 7 p.m. On that note,
peace.
Adios.
Culture Daily was brought to you by Telecel.